Hi viewers, welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing good. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to this channel where you make mathematics and biology a booster subject. Today in my tutorial I have a question on logarithms, and we are supposed to use logarithms to evaluate. So in this question I've gotten it from past KCSE papers. The year 2017, paper 1, number 6. So this is what we are supposed to do in this tutorial. I hope you will enjoy. Start working on this problem. I am going to draw a table whereby the first column we have the number, the second column we have the number, that number in standard form, and then the logarithm. So what I am going to do, I'm going to show you step by step how you acquire the 4 marks. So after you do that, now we can start. So I want us first of all, I want to start with the numerator. This is now 1.654 squared. The standard form is 1.654 times 10 power 0, then we square, and now we find the log of this number. So we are going to use the logarithm to find the log of this number. Remember, when you are writing a number in standard form, maybe we should have the working area over here. Working area. Anytime you are writing number in standard form, it should always be written in the form a times 10 power n. That means a should be between greater than or equal 1 and less or equal 9. So you make sure it is of this form, and this power n can take any form. So if you look at our number was already in standard form, so because this one is 1, okay. So now using the table, we are going to look at the column x. Column x, we are going all the way to 1.6. So we look for 1.6. This is where we have 1.6, guys. Then we move to the column headed 5. So I recommend you to usually have the long transparent ruler. So what you are going to do, this is where we have 1.6. So we go to column headed 5 because of this one. So this is where we have, and then we proceed to the hand column headed 4 and column headed 4. So these are the figures that we are going to use. But remember that the logarithm of 1.6 is 0. You can see the decimal point. I don't know whether you can see that. There is a small decimal point over here. So it means even the other numbers have, like for example this one is 0.2, because the first column, the column ending 0, shows us that all the numbers have a decimal point. So what we are going to do now is to have the log that we have is, can use this area for better understanding. So 1.6, we shall have 0.2175. Now we go to the AND column, we are going to AND 10. So we shall have 0.2185. Now if you look at our numerator, it is squared. So because it is squared, what we are going to do, we are going to multiply by 2. the log we get, we are going to multiply by 2. So this one we shall have 0 because of 10, 17, 2, 3, 3, then 4, 0.4370. So we shall, so in this case the log is 0.4370 in 4 significant figures. We are done with the numerator. We look at the denominator where we have the number is 45.73. If you look at the number before the decimal point, it is not in this form, so we are going to write this one in standard form. So we shall have 4.573 times, because we are moving towards the left side, then the power of 10, it will be 10 power 1. Now the power accounts for the characteristic. Remember, in every log, any log of any number, we usually have two parts. For example, the 3.1476, if assuming this is now the log, this one is the characteristic, and this part after the decimal place is the mantissa part. And we usually say that mantissa is always positive. This one can be negative, because the power of 10 can be 10 power negative 1, 10 power negative 2, blah blah blah, or the positive power. Now in this case, the power of 10, whatever is the power of 10 becomes the characteristic part. So as you have seen in this case, the power of 10 was 0, so the characteristic is 0. Now the power of 10 over here is 1, so the characteristics is 1. So we go again to our mathematical table. Now this time we are looking for 4.5. So all the way to this point, this is where we have 4.5. So you use your ruler during 4.5. This is where we have 4.5. Therefore we go to the column heading 7, column heading so we go to the column heading 7. This is where you have 7, so we go down all the way. This is the number. And then we go to the add column headed 3. This is add column headed 3. This is, now these are the numbers that we are going to use. So the log of 4.573, we shall be having 0.6599 plus 3. So we shall have 12, 1, 10, 6, 6. So this is the log. So we shall have 6602. Then we go to the next number, 0.56. So when you are writing in standard form, you move this decimal point to the left, to the right side. So we shall have 5.6 times 10. Now because we are going towards the right side, we shall have power -1. So in this case we have power -1, and therefore we cannot write -1 point something. No, because when we write it like this, it will mean that the entire log is negative. So what we normally do is write bar 1 to mean that it is only the characteristic that is negative, because remember I have said that mantissa is always positive. So now because we have the number, we go now to 5.6. This is where we have 5.6 viewers. So this is the log. So we are going to write directly bar 1.7482. So we are done. This far we have all the logs correct. At this point, that is when you get your method mark. So this means that all logs are correct. The next step, what we are going to do is to make sure, because we are not done with the denominator, we are going to make sure that we add the logs, because multiplication means we add the logs. So because now we are focusing on getting the second method mark. So where we have multiplication, we are going to add these two logs. So when we add these two logs, what do we have? 2 plus 2 is 4, 0 plus 8 is 8, 6 plus 4 is 10. So we write 0 carry 1, 6 plus 7 is 13, 13 plus 1 we carried, it's 14, so I will write 14 here, but remember the decimal point is over there. So 1 plus negative 1 is 0, but remember Mantissa is always positive, so we have 0 there. So 0 plus 1 is 1.4084. So that is what we have. Now we have the numerator and denominator. This line means division. This means division. So when we are dividing logarithms, when we are dividing, we subtract the logs. So we take this one, we subtract. Okay, so let's subtract and see what we are gonna get. So we have 0 minus 4, it can't, or 1. So 10 minus 4 is 6. So this one is remaining 6 because we borrowed one of the 10. So 6 minus 8, it can't, we borrow again, we get 16 minus 8 is 8. So this is 2. 2 minus 0 is 2. Okay, then 4 minus 4 is 0.0 minus 1. So we have bar 1. The log of 1.654 squared means you find the log of 1.654, you multiply by 2. So power means multiplication, but square root, roots, whether it is square root, whether it is cube root, whether it is fourth root, it means you divide. So what we are going to do with our log here, we are going to divide by 3. But looking at our log here, we have, maybe we can use this part. We have now, because I want to separate characteristic from Mantissa, so we have -1. Remember Mantissa is always positive. 0.286. Now we cannot divide by 3 because now the characteristic is negative and the Mantissa is positive. So what we are going to do is to divide them separately. And for us to divide them separately, we have to make the characteristic to be divisible by 3. That means without leaving any decimal, perfect division. So what we are going to do in this case, we are going to make the characteristic to be divisible by 3 without altering the value of the log. So what we are going to do here, we are going to add -2 so that we have cumulative -3. But we also add +2 here, so that now it will mean we have added nothing, because -2 + 2 is equal to 0. Actually, it's like we have added 0 to our log. So what we are going to do now here, we shall have -3 plus, I'm writing positive because mantissa is always positive. So then we divide now by 3, the root separately, divide by 3. So when we divide by 3 here, I shall get -1. And when I divide the mantissa by 3 here, so I'm going to use the calculator. 2.0286 divided by 3, I shall have 0.6762. So if I add all this together, I shall have about 1.6762. So this one divided by 3, we shall have about 1.6762. Now, for us now to get the value that is required, or the number that is required, we shall do the opposite. So we shall come here. We know that to write the number in standard form, the power of 10 takes the characteristics. So if this is but 1, then it means the power of 10 will be -1. 10 power -1. And then now we find the antilog of the mantissa part. So we take our table, then we go to the anti-logarithm tables. So we shall look for 0.6, because this one has taken the power of 10. So what we are left with is 0.6762. So 0.6, the 0, 0, 0.1, 0.5, 0.6, 0.06. So our interest here is 0.67. So we go to the next page. So we have 0.6. So look at what we are looking for, 0.67. So we shall go to 0.67. We got it, 0.67. Then we go to the column headed 6. Column headed 6. This is the value. And then we go to the and column headed 2 and column headed 2. So we are going to add 2. So what we have here, it is 4 point. So you can use the working area, 4.742. Then we add 2. So what do we have? We have 4.744. Got it. So the number here shall be 4.744. So that is the number written in standard form. Now we want to write the actual number. This is power -1. So we shall take the decimal, move the decimal place to the left side. So we shall have 0.4744. And this is the required answer. So in such a case, we have the first method mark was for all logs correct. The second method mark is did the candidate add and subtract where necessary? If yes, the candidate gets another method mark for addition, and subtraction. So the next mark is for the division. How was the division process? So probably where we were supposed to multiply, like in this case, the log we got, we had to multiply. The root means we defined. So the next method mark is for multiplication and division. So like here, the power means multiply, like this one, root 3 means you divide by 3, and the next mark is for the accuracy. So this one shall be for the accuracy mark. And that is how you get your free 4 marks. Thank you guys for watching. Give it a thumbs up and share if you can. Bye. See you in the next tutorial.